episode of The F Word is all fitness, and we've got James and Dylan from Krev Performance.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi.
So you guys, if you can start, can you share your journey into the fitness industry? What led you to start Krev?
Do you want me to go with that?
Yeah, you roll with it, mate.
So I've been involved in sport since I was a kid, like most people. And it's all I've ever wanted to do. So I've only ever wanted to work in sport in some way. From playing football as a kid, and rugby and basketball and all different sort of sports, I've always wanted to just get into something physical. So when I was at school, in fact, I remember my mum coming up to me and saying, we're in Asda in St Austell of all places, eating chips and gravy, which isn't very fitness, not very fitness based. And she asked me, I think I was 15, just about to leave school, and she said, "What do you want to do?" Calls me Jimmy. Says, "What do you want to do, Jimmy?" So I said, "Well, I'd like to open my own gym and own my own gym." And she remembers that, and I actually vividly remember it. But it didn't go that way at first. So I left school with very little qualifications, because I only liked to go into school to play sport. So that was how I rolled. But I left school and I went into a leisure centre. Actually, I worked in a leisure centre for a while, and then gradually built my way up in a leisure centre. And then I wanted to become a PE teacher. So I trained and then became a PE teacher, got my degree in sports performance. Massive gym fan throughout. I remember getting my first gym set when I was sort of 11, I think I was. Got it for my birthday from Argos. Absolutely loved it. The old Gold's Gym spin lock weights, doing them in my front room. And then as I was in that sporting environment in school, again, I'd done my degree in sports performance, strength and conditioning based. I then started to want to look further afield and come out of sort of education. And then I went into sort of elite sport and coached strength and conditioning for a pro rugby club. And then as I was doing that, I obviously didn't want to travel the length of breadth of the UK anymore. So I have a young family. And something in my head just said, right, I want to now open that gym. So I did it alongside working in sport, and then transitioned straight into the gym full time after I come out of sport. So that's that journey all the way from being a nipper.
Something you've always wanted to do then.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Dylan joined you a couple of years ago, we were talking about, in terms of business partner.
Yeah, Dill he was there from the start. I actually contacted Dill when I was looking for a premises, because I saw he had a unit that his former business was in. And he said, actually, I'm about to move out of that one. Do you want to get into that? So yeah, we did do, and
that's where it all started, wasn't it?
Yeah, you built that up from the start with me, and we then moved into a larger unit, and then Dill was there building that up, and then for the business sort of was going separate ways, and I wanted to push it on and develop it a bit more, and that's where Dill then came on board, and we've been there ever since, and we're pushing away, and there's more exciting stuff to come. So yeah.
From gym member to business partner.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah.
And how does what Krev looks like today differ from the vision you had way back when?
It looks exactly how I envisioned it to be.
Amazing.
I think. It looks exactly like it was. It's been reasonably seamless. Like, the plan was to do this, and the plan is still to do that, but just to keep delivering it on a better and sort of larger scale, really. So, it looks exactly the same.
Good. And how about running a business? How's that been? How's that journey been?
Yeah, good, really good. It always throws up its issues, doesn't it? And when COVID came in, that was quite a big thing.
Yeah,
obviously gyms were one of the most poorly looked at, or leisure in general. There were no offense against pub owners and landlords and stuff, but they were trying to open pubs before they were opening leisure spaces and gyms, which that was super, super difficult. I didn't know how to navigate that really.
And you transitioned online. We were talking earlier
Yeah.
before we started filming that.
Yeah, we did do. Yeah, straight away, actually. We've got our retention with our gym membership is massive, especially now. It's grown in the last 2 years, loads. But we've always had a really good retention rate. So we've got guys there that have been there for now 6 years. So they've been there from the start and they're still there. And there's a lot of those people still there. There's very, very little people that leave. So when we went into COVID, those guys, they still supported us in some way, shape or form. So we supported them and transitioned online, which actually opened the door for loads of different things, especially for me, for my one-to-one stuff. So I started to do a few little bits and pieces on Zoom, which, like I said earlier, I can't even use my phone properly. So that opened up a few avenues. So, yes, it's had its ups and downs, but I'm a massive believer, and I know you are, Dill, as well, you've always got to take something positive from something negative. And that might be a cliche, but it's true. So all the negative areas of running the business and what's happened with the business have turned into massive positives. Yeah.
And opportunities. And
absolutely.
We can talk a little bit more in a minute about the next stage.
Yeah.
But in terms of the fitness industry, kind of sticking with that, where do you see that evolving in the next 5 to 10 years? And also, how important is it for business owners to make time for fitness and looking after themselves?
Do you want to go into that?
Yeah, I can do a little bit, mate.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, obviously, I think it's really important with the stresses and strains of the modern working world. I think everybody needs to let off steam and look after themselves. I think people are becoming a lot more conscious about their health. There's a big movement in that direction. You see it a lot now. It's all over social media. Everybody's looking after themselves more, which I think is great. It's really
cool to be fit. Isn't it? Like it used to be cool to go out and do whatever you used to do and go to the pub and different bits and pieces. But now it's not. There's a massive sort of shift in it, and
definitely
that physically and mentally, it's the two go together, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It's cool to be fit, or cool to be looking to do some good for yourself and other people, and I think that's great. It's a bit of a saturated field in regards to. There are gyms popping up left, right, and centre, and there's big chain gyms that are a little bit sort of conveyor belt gyms, as I like to call them, where they just get members in and then they leave, and then they get them in and they leave. But it puts it in the spotlight, doesn't it? It is cool. It is cool to be fit, and that's great.
And we've got something unique where we are, haven't we? It's,
massively.
It's very community driven. We've got a great community spirit in the gym, haven't we? Which you do get it in some gyms, I think. Yeah. But ours is sort of very broad. It's all different people, different ages, different walks of life. That
people
all
go for the social
together.
element as well as just the fitness. So
massively.
It's not.
We've got members that have come in and not known each other before, and now they're holidaying with each other, and going to each other's birthday parties, and that's great. It's great to see.
It's massively unique. Like CrossFit came in, which I remember when I did my CrossFit level 1, and this was like years ago when it was not very much money, and now it's an absolute fortune. But that came in, and that was really community based, and that's what they did really, really well. They came in. That it must have been 20 years ago when it started to be cool, and that aspect of CrossFit is unreal. Like. They have got it right. That's a really, really good thing. In fact, I think that's probably their biggest asset is the community feel of CrossFit. But then you've got all your different genres. Like fitness is multifaceted, isn't it? So you've got powerlifting, bodybuilding, guys that just want to go in there for physique, aesthetics, like loads of people that want to go in there for the psychological benefits, and then CrossFit, and then strength. So what we've done is amalgamated all of those good bits of all of the good genres that we believe they are, and put them into our own and put our own spin on that. And I personally, and our guys at the gym and people looking from the outside, that is unique. I don't see anybody else doing that. There are places, not in Cornwall actually. There are places up the line where you can see that sort of hybrid fitness element coming in with the big community feel that you've got within CrossFit, and then the as Dill said, people meeting each other and going out left, right, and centre with each other, and going for birthday parties, and like we said, holiday with each other. That's unreal,
That's
isn't
madness,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, guys that have never ever seen each other before in their lives,
Yeah.
and they've got this massive, close knit community. So, in regards to fitness and where that's going, and where we're going, and what we're going to be doing in the next sort of few years, is building on that.
Yeah, totally.
And those core values. I mean, for me, the gym is somewhere I can go so I can eat more biscuits.
Yeah.
Cake bombs at my desk.
But then there's place for that, isn't there?
There's a place for me.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like on a more obviously joking side, but on a more serious side, that there is something for everybody.
Yeah.
But you start to then. Do you want to master a few trades of something, or do you want to pick loads of different bits of fitness and sort of dilute what you do? So I think, your big sort of commercial places, that's what they do. They put everything on from everybody.
Something for everyone.
But I think that sometimes then gets lost of the core value of what you're trying to achieve as a single strength and conditioning sort of premium based delivery. But there is something for everyone within fitness, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah. And you've stolen my next questions, because I was going to talk about core values within your business and how that kind of transpires sort of throughout and as you're growing. So now might be a good time to talk about kind of your plans. What are your plans next for Krev, or how much do you want to talk about your plans for Krev?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Well, we've just achieved planning for a new gym, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
So yes, that's the next aim is to mobilise that, isn't it? Get it built and hopefully take what we do and take it to a wider audience. Looking to really push the youth side of things, aren't we?
Yeah.
In the gym.
Yeah.
Because we can't offer that at the moment. So that'll be something great to bring. But yeah, it's really exciting. Can't wait to get cracking, can we really?
It's just doing what we do on we've got to the space that now where we're at capacity. We are literally there. I mean, like I said, the last couple of years, it's 70% we've grown in regards to our membership, our income, which obviously is needed in this day and age at the moment with everything going up. But we've got to the stage where we're full, with a little bit of wiggle room in with where people train and how they train and what times they train. But we want to get what we do out to a way bigger audience of like-minded people, because that's what we have at Krev. They're a lot of very not similar people, real diverse, but with the same sort of Krev mindset. If that's
the same
a
values,
thing.
they share your values around
do.
fitness and what it means
They
to
do.
them.
Yeah, we don't have mirrors in our gym,
No.
which is and it's one thing that people notice, isn't it? When they come in, they go, "You've got no mirrors in here," and we're like, that's not what this is about. What it's about is a process of looking after the process. The rest of it will look after itself. If you don't need to be doing this, that, and looking at yourself when you're working out, a sweaty mess. But it's
no one needs to see that.
no one needs to see that. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get ourselves and trying to get our values and our processes out to a wider audience and bring people in. I think that sometimes when you open a gym, especially we're in an industrial unit, don't get me wrong, you walk up to it and it looks like a tin shed. It's a smart tin shed, but it looks like a tin shed. So people have this sort of like, what's behind that door?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's in gyms in general, actually.
Oh, absolutely.
The biggest thing. Absolutely. And the biggest thing is walking through the door. Just put your feet through the door and see what happens. And every single person that's ever had any anxiety about coming to our space, they've said, why didn't I do it earlier?
Yeah.
Why didn't I do it earlier? And I said, I told you. I just said, just come down, set foot in the door. So,
Find something you enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really interesting, actually, because we've been talking over this series to lots of different sectors, a wide range, and everybody has kind of come back naturally around recognizing what they're good at within their business, recognizing what they're doing well, and just sticking to that. So finding what aligns with their values, finding what they actually enjoy doing, and then building their business based on one or two things rather than trying to be everything to everybody.
Absolutely.
Because ultimately it's not sustainable.
Absolutely.
And you can't deliver the best service. So it's been quite nice that that's naturally come out through all of the conversations without people being prompted and just
it's
finding
good to grow organically, isn't it? It's the best way to do it. We've always said that, haven't we? We've
Yeah.
tried to.
I think if you don't, you get found out.
Yeah,
You
totally.
can't put yourself out there and say that you're something that you're not,
Mhm.
and sustain that. I don't think you can. Plus, I personally I'm life driven, and I am life driven, and you get so many people that say, "Oh yeah, I'm well into life. I love life." I'm not a money driven person. I'm
Mhm.
definitely not. As long as my family are comfortable, the business is washing its face, and it's making some kind of money that people can get paid with. Our coaches can get paid and live the
Mhm.
life that they want to live. That's what we're all about. And that's what Deal's all about as well, which is why we work so well together. But yeah, that's the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
That's what we're like. We're life driven, and our industry should be like that.
Yeah.
Because it makes such a massive impact on people's
it's
lives.
fundamental to lifestyles. So
100%. If you're money driven and you're going to go, oh, let's go down that route to do this and make this money.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick to what I know, and Dale's going to stick to what he knows, and we'll deliver that to the best of our ability, rather than looking at other revenue streams that you're not really sure what they're all about. And my heart's not in that. I don't want to coach something I don't want to coach.
And I think that's a really important part of business, and why people go into business, because they go into it to do something they enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately you end up trying to do marketing and accounts and all of the other things that come with it, that when you're a business owner, unfortunately, until you're in a position to outsource stuff, you end up doing it. But at the core of that is a passion for something that you then want to expand and deliver to other people.
Absolutely.
So when you are expanding and you're looking at bringing coaches in, how do you identify people that are right to join the Krev team?
We've already got coaches in, actually.
Yeah.
So, and they're as big, if not bigger than us for our business. They're unreal. Actually, all of them are former members or still members.
Fantastic.
That's something that's something that we give them a perk for the gym. Is that right? You're in here now. You don't pay your membership, basically.
Yeah.
That's one sort of little perk that they get. And we know that it's been quite tough for me, to be fair, putting trust into people like that. I'm like that anyway, I think. But when you create something, you never really want to let go of it to a certain extent. You want to rein it back in, as you will know.
Yes.
And as you will know, your business is,
and I think any business owner.
For sure. It's
but
baby, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But their values, because we know them, we've coached them, and they've been with us. We know that they're the right people. That's what we want to do with whatever we do, isn't it? That we want to employ or grow from within, which is quite an easy thing. Not an easy thing, but you've got such a massive field when you own a gym of skillful people.
Yeah.
You've got guys from all over the place.
Yeah, your ideal employees are working out in your gym. So
exactly that. And the guys that we've got coaching now, they're all really different, but again, they've all got the Krev way. They all buy into our ethos and how we do things, and how we even so much as how we keep the gym.
Yeah.
How tidy it is, and things that you look out and you think, actually, hold on a minute, you're going to be really good for this place.
Taking some pride in.
Yeah. So we've got 4 other guys in at the moment, 1 male and 3 females. There was the male and one of the females we brought in straight away when Deal came into the business, and they've been unbelievable, really, really good. So the values that we look for them,
they're there.
You see them, like their hard work within the gym, their skill set, their way to communicate with people is outstanding.
Yes,
and they're just good. They're good people. Do you know what I mean?
Sounds like you got it right.
I think we have. That's the thing. It's just continuing to do that. There's some bits within the new gym as well, isn't there? We want to put a cafe within the new gym.
Yeah.
And the lady that we're going to get in to run that is she's a gym member, superb as well, makes the most insane cakes as well, don't you?
Yeah,
which is a
You're
bit
luring me in now, that's fine.
Bit of a danger.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah, that is a bit of an advertisement for anybody that likes cake, comes to the gym.
Perfect fit.
Little conveyor belt.
And what impact do you hope to have on your clients outside of their fitness improvements?
Oh, that goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's coming to the gym and fitness training is so much more than the physical element of it. I mean, scientifically, it is. It releases, lots of feel-good hormones in your body, but it is. I have conversations with our gym members through WhatsApp about nothing to do with the gym, and regularly, like 2-day, I've had conversations with people, just messages, or if I haven't seen people for a little bit, like I said, we've got really good retention. Sometimes people fall away a little bit. I mean, motivation is it wanes, doesn't it? There's an act. You need to see an action before motivation, that is what it is. However, that action, obviously you've got to be motivated to make that action in the first place. So sometimes you see people that don't come in for a while, or just a week. I'll message them just to say, "Oh, how's it going?" So that, in regards to outside of the gym, that's what the gym does for people. Puts them into good headspaces, hugely. The social side of it, like I said, we touched on it before, is huge. That's what we are. That's what creates our space. It's not what we do. We just write the map. They follow it. But
provide that space for them to
and then they grow within it. As long as we're helping them to move correctly, and they're keeping them as injury free as possible, which again is something that we really take pride on. It's the growth around or in our gym, and the environment that we've created for them to grow is so much bigger than physical fitness.
It's great to see that change in people as well, isn't it? To watch the journey.
Huge.
It's really cool,
and you see lots of it.
And again, physically, as well as, I guess, within themselves and their own confidence and things.
It's just a byproduct, isn't it? Like if you set that really good process, obviously everybody's got goals. You'll see 90% of the people that come to the gym, including myself when I first started, including anybody that got into the fitness game, is maybe back then 10% of them wanted to feel better mentally. 90% of them wanted to look better. But what starts to happen is, if you're constantly thinking about, I want to look better, that the process is then tough. You're always chasing something that might not necessarily happen quickly. But if you come in and just look after the process, everything falls into place, doesn't it? And that's hopefully what we are, and hopefully what we create. But
brilliant. So just to wrap it all up, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs getting into business about adding value to outside of just the services that people see and assume they're offering?
I think you stick to what you know, isn't it?
I was just going to say exactly.
If you know your game and you're good at it, just stick with what works. I think if you try and push too hard, sometimes it can be undoing, can't it? So and hopefully find something that you love, because that will come through anyway.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I genuinely, and again, it's not lip service, I love going into work. So therefore, it's not work. It is, obviously, because it's hard. Sometimes, I'm up at 10 to 5 and days, and not home till late, and constantly on my phone or on my computer and different bits and pieces. But I genuinely love going into work. So it doesn't really seem like it. So if you can do that and support your family and support loads of other people.
And again, that's been a theme throughout. So it's definitely, I think, one of those key points is to
for sure,
go in for it for the love, and hopefully the money and everything else will follow.
It's always a bonus, isn't it?
It helps.
Well, thank you so much for coming and chatting to us today. We'll be tagging you guys in all of the socials and everything on this. Anyone that wants to find out a little bit more about Krev will know where to find you. But
Great stuff.
Thank you for today.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.